Happy holidays, everybody. Welcome into Raiders Gameday. Amber Theoharis along with James Jones and Eric Allen. And the Raiders lost this one by 2 points, 23-21 to Houston. But somehow this feels like a victory. And I hate moral victories. There's no such thing. It's a win or a loss. However, in a season that there are no playoff hopes, where you just got beaten 31-0 the week before, you're able to compete against a team that is battling for the AFC South, had won 6 in a row, and was the #1 defense in the NFL. So, EA, what do you take away from this game?
I was looking for individual performances today. That's what I want to see. These guys who are going to be a part of this football team next year, how do they perform in a situation going against a playoff caliber football team? And we look at the numbers, man, I mean, what a great job offensively getting your young running back involved. Had over 20-something carries, over 100-something yards. Brock Bowers, 5 targets, 5 catches. He gets a touchdown defensively. Max just kind of had great plays all over the football field. Obviously didn't win this football game, but there's a lot of things to look forward to for the Raiders in the next couple years.
Y'all know what I was looking for. Energy and effort, man.
Yeah.
Energy and effort. No, when you turn the tape on today, you seen that.
Yeah.
You seen guys flying around. You seen guys diving after the football. You seen guys breaking tackles. Play calling was good, but you just seen the energy and effort was up. Like, this was a football team that in my mind, like, is they competing to get in the playoffs? And we know they're not.
Yeah.
But that's all I wanted to see. You're not going to the playoffs. You're 2-12 right now. We understand that. But the way they took the field today with the approach, the way they played, I tip my hat to them, because that's all I've been wanting to see.
Right.
We're not going to win them all. We're in a drought right now, but go out there and compete. And I thought I seen that today on both sides of the football.
Hey, you talk about the future. Ashton Jeanty is the future. He's the first-round pick from last year, and he had a great game today. Taking a look at some of his stats, he rushed for 128 yards, and he had 60 receiving yards. That's 188 yards from scrimmage. Yards per touch, 7.5. Actually, when you break it down into yards per carry, 5.3. We'll take that any day.
That's right. 2
touchdowns. And again, this was against not only one of the best defenses in the NFL, but a top 4 run defense in the NFL. So at a time when the offensive line has taken so much criticism amongst the injuries and guys trying to step up, Ashton Jeanty was able to figure it out today. And this is exactly, guys, how he will be used in the future.
I absolutely love it. And not only that, what I love today is one dude ain't bring him down. Make the dude miss in the phone booth. And it ain't got to be with crazy jukes. It could be with power. You seen on this long catch, he should have been tackled. It should have been a long game, but he ran through a tackle and scored. You seen some runs to where really good vision, really good jump cuts, and he was able to make that first guy miss. If you're able to make the first dude miss, you are going to have some explosive gains in the run game, and I thought that was what Ashton Jeanty did really well today.
And again, when you go back to it, you look at this football team struggling. Does a message cross over from practice to performance today's game? I think it did.
All right, let's go out to Houston, Texas, and welcome in Ashton Jeanty, who we've been talking about with that great game. Ashton, it's good to talk to you. We know it's a loss. 2 points, that's not what you guys wanted. However, it feels like the entire team took a step forward. Pete always says, we want to compete. You guys did that. You had a chance at the very end. What was different in this game, in this week of practice leading up, that gave you guys this energy against especially a top defense in the NFL?
Yeah, I think, we come out in practice hard every week, but I think we brought that energy today on the sideline before the game. We're all together, united. We just kept fighting, no matter what, whether it was a bad play or whether it was a missed tackle. We just kept fighting and kept playing. Obviously, it didn't end our way, but, extremely proud of the team for, playing better against one of the better teams in the NFL.
Hey, Ashton, that juice today, looked like the play calling was a little bit different. Had Geno rolling out early. Definitely had a great impact. What was different in the play calling today for you guys?
I think we just took advantage of the mismatches, whether it was receivers running routes on the DBs or whether it was me, lining up wide on a linebacker. And then the run game, we was pounding the rock. So we just kept taking advantage of what was working throughout the course of the game.
Ashton, I played wide out, and playing wide receiver, like when you get 3 catches in the game, especially early, you're like, ooh, shoot, I'm in a rhythm. I'm ready to go. They spin it over here to me again. It's about to be a touchdown. I know where everybody's coming from. How many carries, because obviously this is the most carries you had in the game, but I'm interested in how many carries do you need to feel like, hey, man, okay, I'm in the rhythm of this thing now. I know where these dudes is coming from, and I can get busy. Because this was a good defense that you went to work on today.
Yeah, I think for me it's about somewhere to 9 to 10. Obviously, the first few runs, you're kind of figuring out how the guys are, playing, especially the D-line. Linebackers, how they feeling. I mean, linebackers was coming downhill. So throughout the course of the game, I was able to, take advantage of that and, make big plays down the field.
I'll tell you, it's not just the carries, it's contact. It seems like the first time you get hit, the second time you get hit, you actually come alive after that. Has that always been kind of part of your game? That first touchdown, there was contact and you run right through them. Does that get you going?
Yeah, I got to, thank God for blessing me with, God-given talent. But also, man, I play for contact. I play through contact. And I think that's what makes me a great player out there. As you can see, my low center of gravity definitely helps me make plays.
Last one.
I can relate.
Yeah, last one for me, my man, is it starting to slow down for you? I mean, it's week 16, and, obviously the last couple of years you've been in bowl preparation or whatever. Is it starting to slow down for you as you see these NFL defenses week in and week out?
100%. I mean, I think the biggest thing you see week to week is, for me, especially in the run game, is how fast the linebackers play, how fast they read it. Myself, I have to be a step ahead and, know what I'm seeing, know how they're playing it, and being able to make my decisions quickly. And I feel like I was able to do that today. And I got to give credit where credit's due. The O-line did a great job blocking and moving those guys off the ball.
Well, Ashton, it was fun to see you out there and having a great game over the next 2 games. It'll be great to see a strong finish to the season because we know that momentum can go into next season, especially for a rookie like yourself going into your second year. So congratulations on a good game, and we can't wait to see you out there next week.
100%. Thank you.
Take care, my man.
He brought up the point I brought up. If you're going to crush the offensive line, you got to give them credit when things go well. And today they played much better. Geno Smith, he was sacked 3 times, so that there were still the sacks. But like you said, EA, it seemed like a bit of a different game plan.
Yes.
And you got to credit Greg Olsen with that as well.
Yeah, for sure. JJ was talking about what he wanted to see early on as we were watching the game. He wanted to see that movement for the quarterback. And even though it's not successful, maybe on that play, defensively, it challenged you to keep the edges, right? So if there's play action pass, there's fakes, that's always going to hold those backers for a moment or two, and that really helps in the running game because once those linebackers are a step off, now Ashton's to the second level, his center of gravity is right, and he's able to run through, break through a tackle, and it's in one-on-one situations, and he's able to be successful. So Coach Greg Olsen today had a really good game plan, changed it up a little bit, and I think that was important for the overall performance of the running game.
And that's all we've been asking for. And EA hit it right on the nose. When you move the pocket, you can't see my drawing, but you see where I'm going. When you move the pocket, those defensive ends can't just rush up the field to stop the run because Geno Smith will get outside the pocket and make some plays. And then now when we hand it off, they got to pause a little bit. Are you going – boom, we creasing it. So I absolutely love the game plan today. I think that's what got Jeanty going. And then not only that, I've been playing wide receiver for a long time. I'm done now. My hamstrings is gone. But I always remember our offensive linemen saying, we need to stop passing the ball. Let us lean on these boys. Stop letting them push us. Let us lean on these boys. And I think that you see 24 carries today for Jeanty today. The O-line was able to get physical and lean on them boys, even when you're tired. You pushing them out. That's all. Leaning. 4 yards, 5 yards. And what did it turn into? 60-yard run, 50-yard run for Jeanty.
Yeah.
So.
By the way, that was the first Raiders rookie with 175 yards from scrimmage or more and 2 touchdowns in a game since Bo Jackson. So Ashton knows.
Okay.
Bo knows, Ashton knows. All right, let's go out to Houston, Texas, and welcome in Jason Horowitz. Jason, we're getting so close to having you on for a win.
So close.
We're getting so close. So close.
Look at that big smile on his face.
But look, I mean, I know the last couple games are hard to call play-by-play. It's hard to watch what we saw 2 weeks ago, and this was an exciting game. Just give me your takeaways from this game.
Well, as Ashton was leaving, he and I were just talking, and I said to him, you make 2-yard runs so fun to call. So thank you for going for 51. So that was, that was enjoyable too. A couple of things, who would have thought that a team that had gone 9 straight games without 75 yards on the ground, which is tied for an NFL modern-day record on the negative side, who would have thought that today, against the best defense in the NFL, would be the breakout game, right? It's the first 300-yard game for the offense since the overtime game against the Jaguars. They did have 3 sacks on Geno. One is where he kind of stepped out of bounds, where he should have just thrown the ball away. So we'll call it 2 sacks today. Against that defense, that's a win. We'll go back and watch the tape and see, but I thought the middle of the Raiders' offensive line today was really good. And I don't think anyone would have thought that would have been the case coming into the day, and it was. And so with a lot of positives, at the end of the day, now you're 2-13, so that kind of stinks. But for a season that's been as rough as it has been, today was a lot of positives to take.
Talk to me about Coach O's game plan. All 3 of us are sitting over here, and we love the movement.
Yep.
We love the running the football, and then you took some shots down the field. Just talk to us a little bit about his game plan and what you've seen different from the last couple weeks.
With EA this morning on the pregame show on Raider Nation Radio, they were asking what I'd like to see, and I said I don't think the outside can hold up, and I thought they needed to get some bootlegs to get play action, to get outside the pocket, to get Geno on the move, and I thought they did that early. And that first 3 and out, I thought it was interesting that they took 3 shots down the field, and that was to open the game. And I know, you'd like to see something different than going 3 and out without gaining a yard, but I thought it was interesting because we haven't seen any shots down the field in a really long time. And so the protection to do that, to get Geno on the move a little bit, the effort to stick to the running game, today it was pretty consistent. It wasn't always, obviously 51 yards in the fourth quarter is going to change the overall numbers. But even before that, this was a day where the Raiders were gaining 3 yards a carry, 4 yards a carry, those body blows, JJ, that you were talking about, which we haven't seen. Right? I mean, how long has it been since this team really been able to accomplish that? Maybe the Bears game is the only other game all year. And so to be able to do that and stick with it, I thought it was called really well. And other than the bad pass in the first quarter that was behind, I think it was Ashton was the intended receiver that Stingley picked off and took to the end zone. Other than that, I thought Geno played a really good ball game.
Yeah, for sure. On the other side of the ball, I thought Patrick Graham, holding the rushers under 100 yards, the quarterback under 200 yards. Yep. Talk to us a little bit about what you saw, if anything different, from the defense today.
Yeah. Well, and they, Texans scored 23, but the defense only allowed 16. And with some of the inconsistencies that the defense has had this year, we talk a lot about what you want to see from the younger guys as this season progresses. And EA, I think you always say that every game is a tape, right? Every game is audition. I thought it was the veterans today on that side of the ball that played really well. Landon Roberts had a couple of huge plays early on in this game. Devin White had some big tackles early in this game that set the tone. I really liked how those guys played. And then you had some, Tonka Hemingway, a couple of plays bursting through the middle. A tackle for loss was big. That drive right in the early part of the third quarter where the Raiders had 3 consecutive tackles for loss on a 3 and out. Like, that was awesome. So I thought they weren't aggressive per se. We didn't see a ton of blitzes. We haven't seen a lot of that all year, but they got enough pressure up the middle today. And then I think you had some really good linebacker play today, which we haven't always seen.
And I think I remember you saying that you're keeping an eye on especially these young players, the draft picks, and the defenders that are on 1-year contracts. What did you take away out of those guys? Especially, I know EA was closely watching Darian Porter, and there was a lot of good little learning at the same time, but mostly good.
Yeah, and you lose by 2 and a pass interference call that allows the Texans to keep a drive going and ultimately win the game is going to be something that people point to as like, oh, you can't have that. It's also possible that ball was way overthrown and maybe uncatchable.
It is possible.
So there's some of that. So I thought there was a lot of good today. I thought Eric Stokes said it this week. He thinks that Darian's going to be a guy that in man-to-man coverage is going to be really good in this league. I think somebody asked Stokes that question in the locker room. I think it was Thursday, and that was the quote that he had said. And you can see that, when he's in tight coverage, he's really close to the receivers and plays really well. So I thought that was really good. Too many penalties, from from the whole secondary, but certainly a couple on him that he's going to want to have back. But I think there's been a lot more positive on the back half of the season as he's starting to get a lot more playing time and something to take forward moving to next year.
That's a positive for sure. Jason Horowitz, we appreciate you coming on. Next week, that's the W. I know. I feel it in my bones. It's coming. I can't wait. Good to see you.
We'll see. See you guys next week.
All right, see you next week. All right, coming up here on Raiders Game Day, we're going to hear from Coach Pete Carroll. He was pretty amped up on the sideline. And also from Geno Smith. Their pressers at the podium coming up next. Raiders Game Day is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Allegiant, the official airline of the Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights, only at Allegiant.com. Modelo, a reward for those with a fighting spirit. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. And by Cox, proud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Welcome back. As the Raiders lose by 2 points to a team that's fighting for the AFC South coming in to this game for a wild card spot, the Texans. Pete Carroll has said from the very beginning, we are going to compete. That hadn't been happening, and then tonight they did just that. Let's go out to the podium and hear what he had to say.
Go ahead. Start.
That's arguably the best defense you've played all year. And Ashton went off, had a big game. Your offense was able to produce. Would you just talk about that side of the ball and to be able to not only see him perform like that, but against this defense?
Yeah, I think that we should underscore everything. This is the best defense in the NFL, and they've been doing it week in and week out and been on a roll. And we went into it knowing that and considering how we're going to find our ways. And I thought that Greg and the fellas, they came up with a great opportunity for our guys to go ahead and play free and play that kind of football. We could make big plays and we could make things happen and move the football. And the guys up front came through against a great front, and I was really proud of the offensive line. I think it was a beautiful day to watch Ashton. You can just see what his talent is so obvious to me and to I'm sure everybody that's really watching him. He's just really hard to tackle, and guys just fall off him, and he just keeps striding on the pass one, but on the run too. Same situation. He's done it a numbers of times. It was great to see him have that much space, to do his thing. And but I give a lot of credit to the guys up front for getting that done. We had the one just garbage play on the turnover right. They felt it coming and they rolled into it. And Geno tried to throw the ball in behind the corner that was sitting out there and just didn't get it done. And they get a freaking touchdown out of the play. A huge play in the game, obviously, but it didn't deter our guys. This game for us, and it was really clear this week and last night and in the locker room today, was about how hard we would play and to demonstrate how much we love the game. And I thought that's what it showed. And I was thrilled to be able to say that to him in the locker room. Why would a team that's struggling like we're struggling play like that? And it's because of the character, it's because of their toughness, it's because of their love of the game, and their willingness to just fight no matter what. And that's what happened today. And there's 2 penalties in the game that you guys saw them better than I did from your TV looks and all that. But those are plays that don't have to get called, and they did. And I'm not grousing about that because I've been around long enough. I mean, it happens, but it's unfortunate that that's how this game goes, and good for them and good for the Texans.
You mentioned seeing Ashton the way he played. How important was it to just see him have success for him, for you guys just to see it happen?
Yeah, we've been together long enough doing this. We are of the same opinion. Of course it is. It is important for him to see it because he's been working his tail off, and he knows who he is. And it's frustrating when you can't show and feel like you really can express who you are and what you're capable of doing. And I'm sure people questioning and doubting and whatever that happens at times and can mount on a young guy and can mount on anybody. But for him to show like that, it's a beautiful expression of who he is and what he's all about. He's been hanging tough all year long, and he hasn't griped about anything or groused about anything. And anytime you've ever asked me, I've always would tell you that because that's who he is. And so he was available for the moments. They opened up the line of scrimmage for him a number of times. He gets the big ball up the sidelines and then finishes it. And not just that Geno hit him, is that he finished the play and made a touchdown just like on the long run. And so that's who this guy's capable of showing us week in and week out. And so we just got to keep working so we can make the space for him.
Obviously, the goal is to win the game, but given all the positives that did happen, is there such a thing as a good loss, I guess?
I've never said that, so I'm not going to say it on this one. I know what happened, and they know what happened too. And we were very clear with intent of how we wanted to play this game and show whoever it happened to be. It happens to be the Texans on this weekend, who we were and what we were all about and how much we love the game and how hard we would play for one another. And I would have loved to have been playing with them today.
After what happened last week in Philadelphia, you kind of touched on it there, but how important was it for this team to kind of bounce back from the compete level standpoint that we saw?
Yeah, how important? I don't know. It was really important for us. It was really clear how we wanted to do it, and that's how we wanted to bounce. Big wins, big losses. They work you. I've said that a ton of times to you guys. They work you, and you have to come back from them. And how do you turn it around and come back next week and show who you are? And I thought this was a great opportunity for us to do it. So I challenged the hell out of these guys to face that and let's go show. And I think that's exactly what we saw today. Unfortunately, didn't win.
Pete, what about that Texans defense makes them the best in the league, as you just said?
Yeah, nobody asked me that. I'm glad you asked. Because I see something in what D'Amico's done with these guys in acquiring, recruiting, however it is, to get guys that really can play the game. This is a really loaded defense, not size, weight, speed-wise. They are in terms of their playmaking ability. The linebackers, we didn't see their top guy today, but the linebackers and the safeties and the corners, they don't all have. They're not the biggest. They're not the fastest. They're just terrific football players, and they've found the scheme that comes out of the San Francisco background. They recognize that calls for the ends to play like they play, and they've just played right and recruited kind of and drafted to the strengths of the style that they want to play with. I think it's a really important thing to notice for D. I mean, he's and how they've ever put it together to figure it out, because it's really to me it's very impressive. And so we hold them in the highest of regard, and so to play against them well was I think it's a great statement for us. But they're on track, and Stroud played, well enough to win the game, made enough plays today, and see, Chubb get out there and run the ball a little bit. He's one of my favorites. It was a heck of a football game.
You had a couple 4th and 1s in the first half and then 4th and 3 in there in the second. You guys have gone for that a lot this year, and you punted in those situations today. Is that defense that you're talking about? Is that part of what weighed into
Absolutely. That's absolutely what that was. It wasn't like, the other changes is what was going on. That's how you play when you have a great defense. You kick the ball inside the 15-yard line and you go get the ball back. And that's just a style that I love, to play with. And when you can believe in your guys that much, and I was trying to remind them, we're punting this ball because of you guys on defense, because I know you're going to keep them back there. And we've had times to do that, and we have done that throughout the season. That's my favorite way to express who we are as a team. When you play great defense and you can count on your guys to make plays, it doesn't matter. You give them the football and you're counting on going and getting it. And our guys came through today, and that's why we made those decisions.
You mentioned your guys fighting, scratching, going at it, no giving up. You're the same guy today as you were in training camps. It fired the enthusiasm. You mentioned Monday, Pete, about this appearing to be a rebuild. Do you want to see this rebuild through?
I would love to. I would love it. It's going to be challenging. It's a taxing challenge for us. But I really like this place, and I like this team, and I love working with Johnny, and it's just mapping it out and putting it together and making sure that we bring people in that can really help us and challenge and compete with the guys that we have, and just let that whole process take shape. It's just unfortunate that there's not 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 wins in here that should have accompanied this season right now, and it blows me away that this is the situation that we're in, because I have no space in my brain for this. But maybe it had to be this hard. I don't know. We'll see.
We talked about Ashton. Brock had a nice touchdown too. As you talk about a rebuild, young players making plays.
I don't want to get into this rebuild thing. Okay, please. I know. Just you said it. I agreed with you. I shouldn't have. Okay. Sorry. My bad.
Players making plays like that, and the guys that you do have, the talent that you do have on offense. How important is that just going forward in the future to have those?
It's crucially important as long as it keeps us competing, and that means it brings out the best in them, the young guys, and brings out the best in the guys that don't let them emerge. And that's the whole makeup of what we're all about, and it brings out the best in all of us. So we're rebuilding with the same guys. We ain't got no other players. We got the guys we have here. We have to continue to build and make this thing happen and come together. Games like this show you why we believe in that, and gives them the understanding, the clarity, and everybody that watches this. And so that's why I like this game.
Last question, Connor.
We've talked about a lot of young players today, but on Chubb's 30-yard run, he gets caught from behind by Max, a defensive lineman.
Fantastic effort.
I mean, would you just talk about when your best player sets the standard of effort like that, please?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no reason to not keep glowing about what Max is all about. You know, he's come through so much. He's had such a journey to get to this point, but he really sees with great clarity his position in time, how he fits with this club and this organization, his effect on the people around him, and he lives up to the moment time after time after time. It was a fantastic play. On that same tackle, Lonnie went for the frickin' punch out, you know, instead of making the tackle, and they get about 20 yards. They gave him the chance to make that a great play. I'm not sure about, didn't Max make a play in the backfield that he have a shot at the guy? Yeah, and well, think about that. He doesn't make the play in the back, gets him off the ground and runs him down 30 yards downfield. Fantastic plays against a great football player in Chubb.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Pete.
You guys are going to bring Geno, you're going to bring Ashton in here.
All right, so Pete Carroll giving us some perspective on a game where they fought hard, came within 2 points, but we're going to take a break here on Raiders Game Day. When we come back, a lot of good things to break down. JJ and EA are going to break down the secondary's coverage, and also Geno Smith and Ashton Jeanty getting on track. It's coming up next right here on Raiders Game Day. This segment of Raiders Game Day has been brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Welcome back to Raiders Game Day. The Raiders lose this one 23-21 to the Texans on the road, but a lot of good came out of this one, especially looking at some of the young members of the secondary. And Ashton Jeanty, the future of the Raiders in the backfield, had a big game rushing for over 120 yards. So to break it all down, let's turn it over to EA and JJ.
All right, Amber, here we go again, breaking down some good film. Yes, we lost the football game, but I saw a lot of positive things from an organization standpoint from Patrick Graham, right? With the pressure on the young quarterback out of Texas. Here we see just a really delayed blitz. We have to make sure we have the edges, so we have great bull pressure on the outside with our late pressure, but more importantly, downfield today, I thought it was great zone coverage, guys matching up with guys being able to match up on that second and third receiver. As you see here, kind of understood where the ball was going and anticipating a throw instead of reacting to the throw. So those are good things.
And that's
for our
third and
defense.
four. That's third and four. We're going to get up in your face and challenge you.
You're right,
Bad throw, let's go to work. Good job.
That
Get
has
off the
been
field.
a problem with us getting off the field on 3rd and 13. One more time, got a loop now. So again, we're really being creative at our line of scrimmage, only sending 4 guys, but giving them some games up front, trying to get these offensive linemen to be able to miss. And then the effort and the execution up front, great, like this. Bam, and that's how you finish it off. That's right. One time, you have to be able to make sure that if he catches it, great tackling, make sure he doesn't get run after the catch. One more time, another great stunt up front, only sending 4. That makes sure that in the back end, we have to make sure we are on the money. We'll see it again. Just great job by Devin making another great tackle here. Max always giving that great effort, coming around, looping through, giving that pressure on the quarterback, giving a little love tap in the end zone, and the stare down. This was what we were doing mostly all day today, putting pressure on this Houston Texans offense.
And not only that, that stuff right there matters.
It lasts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've been in the defensive huddles. I've been in the offensive huddles when they come back and they're like, hey, man. You know what I mean? I'm hearing footsteps. It's happening.
Oh, for sure. One more time. Doing a great job, Patrick Graham is giving us opportunities to be successful upfield. And we have to continue to get this pressure, and that's what we need to know. We need to have that secondary guy on the second level provide that tackle, securing the tackle for a loss or a tackle without gain after being contacted. Once again, you're just really basing everything on the pressure, the relentless pressure up front. This was all day long today, doing a great job up front.
And not only that, watching that, right? You got to be able to win your one-on-ones.
Yes.
Those boys have to be able to win. You seen the tight ends, they was chipping Max all day. Go win your one-on-ones, and then now Max can get in on the action. All right? But defense did their job.
Yes, we did.
But offense, I absolutely love what we did offensively. Look at my man. This is our running back now.
Yeah.
This the young Ashton Jeanty on the outside. Hit him with a little sluggo. We going to run by you. Now, one thing we tell the quarterback.
What?
If it's a safety or a linebacker, You throw that thing to that running back out there if he lines up
What?
on that
Like
running
that?
back. Force him to
Okay.
tackle, and if it's a linebacker, you know they ain't going to be able to run with you. So antennas is up and go make a play. And this is just being like, hey, fellas,
Yeah.
you do know why I've been drafted, right? This is why, right? One person ain't going to bring me down. I'm going to make a play. I see you in the pay dirt. Big time play right there.
Big time.
And then again, all game long. You see these dudes?
Yeah.
They've been leaning on you.
Yeah,
They've been leaning
inside
on you.
zone.
And when you leaning, this is the type of stuff that happens. I've been saying all year long. Let's see if these teams can tackle Ashton Jeanty in what?
What?
The fourth quarter.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? Let's
There you
lean
go.
on them and see if they can tackle them in the
Yeah.
fourth quarter. We seen that today, and
Oh,
the
man.
answer was no. Look at our O-line
The
moving the
O-linemen
boys out of the way.
to the second level.
But I absolutely love it because all year long we've been pass happy.
Yes, we
The
have
O-line been pass happy.
Yeah.
And they've been getting bull rushed. They're like, when can we lean on some people? Today they did. And not only that, been struggling giving up sacks.
Yes, it have been.
Run game helps you.
Right.
And moving the pocket helps you. You seen Coach O today, moving the pocket, great design. This right here, it could be a block down, and
Yeah,
we're going to hand this thing off,
Right,
and we're
right,
going to
right.
see what we can get. Nope, it's a fake bluff.
Oh, yeah.
Roll the quarterback, we're going to get it out, and that's 10 to 12-yard gain on 2nd and 7, move the sticks. But I absolutely love the game plan
Look at
today.
five.
Look at
Look at five.
boom,
Look at
delay.
five. Look at five. What are you
Yeah.
doing? He looking at his eyes in the backfield.
But now you got to play the run.
There you go.
And now you got to play Geno's legs. So I absolutely love what Coach O did. Moving the pocket, you ran the ball, and then you gave him some different looks, putting Ashton Jeanty out there out wide.
Man.
If we do that,
Yeah, both coordinators had a good day today.
if we do that, Amber, we'll get to 30 points.
We will. And here's a big number. It's not 30 points, but it's 160 tackles. That is a Raiders franchise record set by Devin White today. 100, and there's 2 games to go.
Yeah.
Put a little cushion on that record. I think he broke Spillane's record from a year or two ago.
160.
That's a lot. He's been having a heck of a season,
Yeah.
and he's getting some national attention for it. Somebody said, I think maybe you could put him in there for comeback player of the year. There's other players that'll probably get it, but it's nice to get a mention, that's for sure. And it's not just Devin White that played well on defense. We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about that play Max Crosby made, chasing down a defensive end, chasing down Nick Chubb after a missed tackle. I mean, Max continues to give 1,000%, and I couldn't believe I saw that.
Wouldn't expect anything less of Max. He's just such an incredible football player, loves playing the game. At the beginning of the games, you see him, he's energized. You wouldn't know, looking at Max, if we were undefeated or have lost the last 9, 10 games in a row. He's going to give you the type of effort that you expect from that type of football player who's, up always in the last couple of years, up in the mention of Defensive Player of the Year.
You know, they told me not to follow. I'm going to mess them up anyway. No.
All right, let's go to break. We're going to hear from Geno Smith. The reason why JJ can't talk is because Geno's heading to the podium. We're going to get you out there to Houston coming up in just a bit, right here on Raiders Game Day. Intermountain Health understands that life can be a challenging game, and mental wellness is vital to our overall health. It takes courage to admit when we're not okay, and even more to reach out. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, call or text 988 or visit strongestplay.com for mental wellness resources.
Ashton, you have been singing the praises of, Geno, you've been singing the praises of Ashton all year. And several times today when he was making big plays, you were the first one there. Will you just talk about watching the maturation of a guy who really looks up to you?
Man, Ashton is, I will continue to say it, not only a great player, but an outstanding human being. And the way that he works every day, the way that he just puts his head down, we've dealt with a lot this season, but, he's been so mature about it. And games like today are the norm for him. That's what we expect of him, and he had a great game.
You guys were, obviously you had a week off last week and you had to watch what happened, and you guys bounced back with a real close game. Just how proud are you of the effort of the team today, just to hang in with a great defense?
Yeah, I was extremely proud, especially of our young guys. Just the development of those guys throughout the season, the course of the season. Seeing Jack go out there and make a bunch of catches, and the way Ashton played today. Caleb up front, getting his reps, and even DP on the defensive side. Man, just those guys and their development, really speaks to the coaches. Really being committed to that, and all season long, like I said, there's been, a lot of things that we wish we could have done better. But what I'm really proud of is just the way that we continue to fight, the spirit of this team, the spirit of the locker room. Guys are continuing to hold the rope, and that's really all you can ask of the guys. And you can see where we're getting better, but it's still not enough. I'm not the guy who, really harps on moral victories, but I really appreciate the way these guys fight.
There was a moment today where Caleb was walking off the field, probably made a little bit of a mistake, and you walked up to him and walked off with him. Would you just talk about his ability to be teachable?
I love Caleb. Extremely, great young man. Like you said, extremely coachable. He wants to do all the right things. He's growing, he's developing, he's learning. But up front, I thought he battled his butt off. I mean, that was a really good defensive line they have, and I thought he really competed well with those guys and gave us a chance to go out there and, obviously score points. Wasn't enough, but Caleb has continued to get better throughout the weeks. And, I just try to continue to, preach life into those guys, breathe life into them and just speak positivity into those guys because I believe they're going to be great players.
You just said there's no such thing as moral victories, right? But there's a lot of positive things that happen that in a loss. How would you describe then, if it's not necessarily a good loss, how would you describe what happened out there today?
Man, I think we ran out of time. Hats off to the Texans. They've had a really good season and have a really good team, really good defense as well. But obviously we want to win games. We don't want to just, come close. And I've never been the guy who just says, oh, man, we came close. That's great. That's not enough. But really happy with the effort of the guys.
What happened on the interception?
On that play, man, I just got thrown away. They had a better call than us at that time. I think we've kind of worn out the roll pass. Those guys, they play cover 2 and third and short. We've got to have an out to get to a run or something like that. We can't run that play. And then I can't, I tried to put it on Ashton. He kind of kept running, and corner made a good play. I got to throw it away and just, live to play another down.
That's all good? All right, cool.
Thank you, guys.
Geno.
All right, so good to see Geno Smith have a good performance and play well, and hopefully taking that into the next game. But we're going to take a break here on Raiders Game Day, and when we come back, I bet there's something you didn't know Mark Davis invented. We're going to tell you what it is. Changed football. It's coming up next. This segment of Raiders Game Day has been brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, the official soft drink of the Las Vegas Raiders.
What's up, Raider Nation? Did you know that Mark Davis created the modern quarterback hand warmer? In 1986, the Raiders owner came up with the idea of combining the fleece-lined hand warmers with heat packs. Well, it all started when Hall of Fame receiver Cliff Branch tweaked his hamstring on a 99-yard touchdown run, and Davis, his friend and one-time agent, searched for homeopathic treatments, ultimately finding a garlic extract in Japan that worked out for Cliff.
He showed me these little heat packs.
Oh, wow.
And, as for all the years as I was a water boy, we were always looking for things to keep your hands warm.
Davis worked out a distributorship deal and brought the packs back to the U.S. to equipment manager shows and athletic trainer shows where many were impressed because on the NFL sidelines before that, guys were literally warming their hands over buckets of burning coal. But he still needed something to hold the heat packs in so that equipment teams didn't have to sew pockets into jerseys. Well, he experimented with the fleece from the Raiders' old silver sideline capes. He figured out that 2 layers trap the heat inside better than 1, adding the pocket for the heat pack and a tearaway belt, and boom, the first prototype that we now call the Muff.
The Muff.
All right, for more information, go to Raiders.com/muff. Pretty cool.
Entrepreneurship.
Way to go, Paul Gutierrez. Way to track down that story. That's something I didn't know. You guys played for the Raiders and had no idea. But it's such a part of NFL uniforms now. But you were even saying, you played in Green Bay at one point, the coldest place on earth. You actually would put inside, like fur inside your jersey?
Yeah, so nowadays they build it into your jerseys and it's fur inside your jersey, so you don't have to have the pouch. You just put your hands inside your jerseys, inside the pockets, and you good to go. And then not only that, Nike, hey, shout out to Nike, because Nike has gloves with fur in the inside and sticky on the outside, so we'd be ready to go.
But you did that in Philly.
I would have loved those things, man. Have your hands roaming the sideline and have that tackiness on the gloves. That could have been a couple more INTs for your boy.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't know how you felt as DB, but when your hands is frozen as a wide receiver and the quarterback say, what you like, you open? No. Hand it off.
Absolutely not. EA, as a defensive back, did you guys do anything like that? Especially in Philadelphia where it was cold.
Yeah, it was cold, but I love that fact because I can get a lot of PBUs because the receivers are not reaching out.
You're
but
right.
again, the one thing is when you stick your hand in there, you're going against a guy who's throwing the ball hard like John Elway.
Man.
You come back and your fingers could be over here and over there, you know what I'm saying? So got to be careful with the cold when you're trying to break up the
It's
pass.
crazy you say that, because as we're warming up, we always used to say, this ain't a hand catch day. Get it on your body.
Exactly.
Get it on
Stick my
there.
head in there, the finger get all messed up.
Get it on your body.
Guys have been inventing their own things
Yes.
forever. I mean, you weren't the first to wear the hoodies. You're talking
better believe
about scuba gloves.
Yeah, scuba gloves.
They would
Yep.
actually wear, like, I mean, I surf, so I wear, is that what you're talking about?
Keep you warm, but they had a little tackiness on the outside, so that was the thing. We got that from Washington. They used to all wear those scuba gloves all year long, so I'm thinking, man, why is this dude catching this one-hand grab here? Like, oh, he has scuba gloves. Let me go get me some scuba gloves, too.
All I'm going to say is me and Mark, boy, we'll have you on fire out there. I created the hoodie. He created the sleep. Be out there sweating at negative 20.
Something tells me he made more money off the muff than he did off wearing a hoodie. Not sure. Don't think he patented it. All right, coming up next, we're going to break down the next couple of weeks. That's coming up on Raiders Game Day. Raiders Game Day has been brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights, only at Allegiant.com. Credit One Bank, the official credit card of the Las Vegas Raiders. Coors Light, choose chill, an official beer of Raider Nation. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. And by Twitch, watch, discover, join in. All right, so the Raiders lose this one, but they got 2 more chances, 2 weeks in the season coming up, and let's take a look at what is ahead. Next up, it is the Giants, and on paper, this doesn't look like an important game. It is.
This is the biggest game of the season.
You know why? Because it's for the #1 pick. Right now, New York and Las Vegas are tied for the #1 pick, right? Or I think they're in first. We would have the second. They would have the first. So, look, you want to win the games. You got to go out there and play tough. You want to continue what the young guys are doing. But there is significance, and we'd be remiss if we didn't point that out.
Without doubt.
Kansas City. You know, Kansas City isn't playing for anything right now. You don't know if it's going to be Travis Kelce's last game. It would be great to get a win against a team in your division and keep that momentum going. Keep them down. And then look, the offseason is close. Free agency begins March 11th.
Look at that.
Already
March
here.
11th.
And then the draft is April 23rd through the 25th. I'll be there.
In Pennsylvania?
In Pennsylvania.
at the draft?
I'm there. I'm at every.
You been invited?
Not yet.
You only went because it was in Green Bay last year. That's the only reason you got here.
I'm trying to figure out when I'm gonna get invited, man. I mean, it's in my city now. It's in the Bay Area now.
I know, that's right. Super Bowl's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
You're just going to be in San Jose the whole time.
No,
Like,
that's
you're not
right.
going to go to San
Eating
Francisco.
burritos.
That's just, you got to take me get
I'm
one
trying
of those.
to tell
He's
you,
been
I
it's like
got you.
Cheese
Oh,
sticks. You
come
got
on
to take
now.
me.
Come on
I got to
now.
check them
Come
out
on. Oh, come
at
on
some
now.
point. No, the Raiders have a lot to take out of this win, this loss, being within 2 points. But Ashton, Jeanty, again, having a huge game, having over 180 yards from scrimmage. Geno Smith had a good game, max effort. So much to take out of us. Let's see if they take it into next week against the Giants. That'll do it for us. Amber Theoharis along with James Jones and Eric Allen. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone. We'll see you next time.